Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
No one wants to end up in the hospital with a sex-related injury, but it happens to a lot of people. On Sex Sent Me to the ER, the official podcast from TLC, you'll hear crazy sex stories that have happened to real people. Like the woman who had to treat an orgasm that lasted for hours, or the threesome that had to deal with fractured organs, and a ton of hurt feelings. For more of the drama, listen to Sex Sent Me to the ER, wherever you get your podcasts.
Life is short, and it's full of a lot of interesting questions. What does happiness really mean? How do I get the most out of my time here on Earth? And what really is the best cereal? These are the questions I seek to resolve on my weekly podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long. Follow Life is Short wherever you get your podcasts. You can also listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens, crappens, crappens. Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the wonderful, the glorious Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi.
Look at you. Look at all that. Look at all that vape coming out. How are you doing today, sir?
So good. How are you? I'm getting ready to travel. I'm making sure my little baby Gorgeous is taken care of. I just gave him some kisses. Bueller's back there. I found out that I just got the same travel backpack as Olivia Aden has. So she's my little queen. So I just feel so like it's such a good sign for the weekend.
It's so cute. I actually just got a new backpack this week too, believe it or not. But mine's
really?
Mine's like a generic gray backpack. Yours is pretty.
Mine is yellow. It's like bus yellow, and I don't think it's gonna work. I thought maybe that'll look cute with my blue suitcase. I'm always in blue, So like, look, right now I'm in blue, yellow and blue. How cute!
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What are you
camp colors?
Trying not to get hit in a school zone? What the fuck? I don't think this is gonna work." And that's why you buy them cheap on Amazon for $20.
Yeah, I got mine. I really like mine so far, but we'll see. This could be its first big test weekend because Ronnie and I are going to Phoenix tomorrow, actually. We have a Phoenix show right before the Crappies, or it'll be really fun. We haven't been to Phoenix since the pandemic, so come join us at CB Live. We're going to be recapping Real Housewives of Miami. We're basically flying in tomorrow morning, then we're going to watch Miami, and then we're going to report to CB Live for duty. And we're also going to do some of the Crappens categories. We're going to do 3 categories there in Phoenix, so that'll be fun. It's like a Crappies pre-show. And then, of course, on Friday is the big show. That's at the Wiltern Theater. So time is running out to get your tickets. We're really, really excited. We have more guests than we've ever had before. It's the biggest theater we have ever been in. It's like it's a huge, huge, big deal for us. So we want you all to be there so we can all be part of it together. Go to watchwhatcrappens.com to get your tickets. Go there also to vote for your favorites. The polls are still open for a little while longer. And also, if you can't make it, you can always get a virtual ticket to the Crappens by going, it's going to be streamed on Moment, formerly Moment House, but now they're just Moment. They're just a Moment.
Oh, they're the Moment. We've been calling Moment House. What dicks? We've been calling them that for a long time. Sorry, Moment.
I know. No, they're Moment now. Any moment is a moment in the woods. So, any moment, big or small, is a moment after all.
Have a moment. It's like a moment. Fuck a
moment. In a moment. Seize the moment. Skyfall in a moment. Anyway, for real though, come. That's going to be, you can stream it. And if you can't be there, the stream of it's going to be up for a full week. So, but we want you all to come and to vote. We're really, 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 really excited. So go to watchwhatcrappens.com for all those links. And also, this is Crappens on Demand. So go to patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens and you can watch us. You could see Ronnie's beautiful yellow book bag and his beautiful blue shirt. And probably Bueller in a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure Bueller will be around soon. So he's back there in his bed. He's not getting all the attention he needs, so he's pretending not to pay attention to me, which I love. It's cute. So here we are with Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Wow. A lot of stuff happening in Jersey these days. It's a real source of controversy. This whole week, it feels like this whole week, has been dominated with this thing on social media where Joe Gorga was in a restaurant and ran into Joe Giudice, and he walked up and was like, there he is. And then they shook hands and hugged and kissed each other.
Yeah, there was a video of like, there he is, come on over here, there he is. And then there was like a, so what, who cares? So what, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so what? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's a nice moment. It's a nice moment. And then here comes Gia. You know what, Zio, Joe? You know what? You talk shit for him for years and you do this. You're so fake. You're doing it for the cameras. Oh, how convenient. And she just went in on Joe.
I know, but she's ridiculous, and I know she's like a kid still. She's an adult technically, but I mean, I know she's really young and stuff, and she just wants to stick up for her family. But she's such a drama queen too. She's like, Zio, Joe, only you would take this once in a lifetime moment to see my father to use for your social media. I'm like, oh yeah, this chance of a lifetime in a fucking Italy, or wherever the fuck they saw each other. Come on.
I know, for real. So now everyone's been weighing in. Are you like Team Gia, Team Joe, yada, yada, yada? Because then Joe clapped her back and was like, he basically was like, grow up, huh? Grow up. People get over things. Grow up, huh?
I am Team Casting because Casting is really trying to get rid of them. Which you can tell because they have cast another person with I'm not talking to my brother because of the wife storyline. Yeah. They have cast another storyline to compete. Now we have Jackie's competing storyline of my sister hates me and we don't talk. But that was not about marriage and all this other stuff. And Jackie's been moved to friend of. So I think they're trying it again. I think they're like, we are going to replace this storyline come hell or high water.
We guested on the Reality Is podcast last week, and I keep thinking about what you said on the show about, you're like, this show's all about family, family, family. None of these people talk to each other. Like, this is the show of all the shows on Bravo that preaches the most about family and has the most family members that literally don't talk to each other, aren't in each other's weddings, hate each other. Like, it is really the most hypocritical show on Bravo.
It really is. I think the only one that probably is different is Dolores. I think Dolores lives by the creed,
Yeah.
She's really like family, family, family. I mean, she would stick her thumb up her mom's butt to get a cookie out of there. Like, she loves her mother and her dad. I don't know why I said that. I was thinking of that show being Bobby Brown. Remember when
the Dingleberry?
I don't know why I was thinking of that right now, but yeah, I was thinking about that recently about how Whitney got really constipated. Oh, you know why? Because I was constipated, which I hate talking about, but I was, and I kept thinking, God, maybe this is when I should get married because Whitney had Bobby stick his thumb up her butt and get her unconstipated, and she said that's black love. And I will never forget that. So anyway, I think that Dolores would do that for her family.
Yeah, Dolores definitely lives by the creed.
I don't know where I'm at today, okay? I don't know where I'm at. But I did shave and moisturize.
Yeah.
So.
No, Dolores lives by the creed. I also believe that Dolores probably lives by a Creed 3 billboard. So, anyway. Anyway, so let's just dive into this. Oh, wait, the other thing is a lot of people have been messaging us because I guess someone caught Danielle on her true story. True life, I'm a Staten Island girl. So a lot of people have been sending us that clip, which is hilarious. We did know about it, but I hadn't actually seen it until I saw those clips. And it's just crazy because she's like, that was her probably around 2003 or 4. And she's just like young, 22. She's trying to be an actress. She's like, I gotta lose my accent so I could be an actress. And then seeing her now with like the big hair and like Jersey housewife, it's kind of like it's like shocking, huh?
Well, it just goes to show you, just keep at it. One day you can achieve your dreams. Here she is, starring on a Real Housewives show. Well, and they're really giving them a lot of time. I mean, these newbies, they're like, you are full-fledged cast members, and half of these shows are going to be about you. That's it.
Yeah.
We're changing this shit up. I don't know who went over there and was like, we're changing this shit up. I'm sick of it. And they're doing it. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, Danielle, to me, seems like an out-of-the-box star. I mean, I really do think she's, unless she does something really wrong, which we all know they can do, she seems like an out-of-the-box star. And it's funny to think of her, like, wanting to be an actress at one point and then winding up on this show because the other night, Dom was watching a video of, like, Broadway casting directors or something like that. And the casting directors were, you know, talking about, like, what they look for, yada, yada, yada. But one of them said, oh, I have become such a reality TV junkie because when I watch scripted TV, I always have to stop it every 2 seconds and like look up who is that person, you know, I have to look up their IMDb because that's my job because I might want to cast them in something. But then that's why I love reality TV because I can just watch it. And I was like, oh, that is a hilarious indictment for all the reality TV stars that want to be actors. That the casting director is like, no, I'm not even going to consider you in any project. I watch this show so I don't have to go to IMDb and look up your credits.
Yeah, there's not a lot of crossover. You know, there's not. So this one is called Boys Will Be Boys. So we know it's gonna be Joe trying to make drama with the boys. Kind of like looking all over, like his eyes don't move, but his head moves. It's like instead of his eyes moving, his head moves, so his eyes can look around the room. You know,
he's like a dog. Those little dogs on the dashboard, huh? It's like, whoa, whoa. Like the head does this. We also got some variations.
I think he looks like he's trying not to move his eyeballs, but at the same time, he's trying to figure out where the floaters are in his eyes. Like he's just kind of moving his head to kind of move the floaters around.
Yeah. So, we, Teresa and Melissa are still fighting at the Moots party, huh?
The Moots party,
Moots. Yeah, they're fighting at the Moots party, and Teresa's like, I'm just going, cause we're fighting about the engagement party, and I'm just like going by how I felt in my heart, and like I feel like you weren't rooting for me and Louie, huh?
Because they're fighting about Melissa being sat at a different table at the engagement party, and Teresa's like, no, you were supposed to be at our table. It was a mistake. And Melissa's saying, no, it wasn't a mistake. You did it on purpose. Stop lying. And Teresa's like, I'm not lying. And she goes, yes, you are. Just stop lying. She goes, fine. I didn't want you biased because you aren't rooting for me and Louie. Okay, yeah. So she just admitted that she's been lying this whole time. And then because she's Teresa, she's really dumb, and she forgets that she admitted this on national TV for the rest of the episode.
Of course. So then Melissa's like, no one opened their arms more than Joe and I did to Louie. I want to see your happy ending. No, not that kind. Don't show me that video of you and Louie, please. Listen, I want to see
3 times a day. Blink, 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 blink.
Please put it away. Okay, stop casting it to the TV. I don't need to see it that big.
I started using it as elbow lotion. It's just constant. You got to start thinking of things. We're going to start making candles. Blink, 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 blink.
She's like, listen, I want you to be happy. And Teresa's like, thank you. I feel that. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And Melissa's like, I'm good with the engagement party. Like, what I'm not good is being called a liar. So that's why I had to correct it. And I'm good with not being in the wedding. So that's it. We're good.
Nah. Listen, I mean, do you want to be in the wedding? Because if you would love to be a bridesmaid or something like that.
Teresa's offering it like a job. It's like, we want to give you this job, but only if this is do you see a career in this? Do you see a career in this bridesmaid position?
Do you love this? Do you eat, sleep, and breathe? Are you dreaming in Teresa's wedding language?
Then we have a position for you in the
That's how you know when you're finally learning Spanish. Like when you start dreaming in Spanish, they say, yes, finally, your Duolingo is paid off. You know?
Yeah.
So Teresa's like, yeah, well, if you would love to do it, I would love to have you as a bridesmaid if you would love it. Okay. And Melissa's like, why are you acting like you're doing me a favor? And she's like, I mean, I would love you to gravel to be at my wedding. If you want to gravel, you could do it.
She's like, no, I would never go back. It's like when an ex-boyfriend says, like, I fucked up and I want you back. Teresa's like, blink, 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 blink. She's like, yeah, that's when you go back, right? Huh?
It's like going back to an ex-boyfriend more than 2 or 3 times, which I probably did, and you'll hear about later this season when Marge's ex-best friend tries to get a spot on the show. But that's neither here nor there. So she's like, nah, I'd rather, I'm fine with not being in it. She goes, all right, okay then, thank you. I love you.
Teresa's so happy.
Finally.
Yeah, she's so happy because now she doesn't have to have a shred of a moral dilemma about the fact that she did not include Melissa in her bridal party. So now she's like, all the dogs come running to the house.
Yeah. So then a dog at Dolores' house just falls off the stairs. Dog, was it that bad? We have an actual banister on the stairs. You're still falling off.
Dog actually climbed up onto the banister so he could fall off. Falling off is now his pattern.
Teresa must be happy across town because dog just ran up the stairs and fell down the stairs. I mean,
it's his love language. So everything seems good, and then everyone's happy, and then the scene ends with Jennifer Fezler saying, "So any more mozzarella or no? Any more? Come on! I don't know if you saw. I had this a very hilarious shot last week of me stuffing mozzarella into my mouth, and
listen, the bit doesn't end just because the fight ends. Okay, start it over. I'm Fezler." So then across town, we go to Dolores, and her little dog is in a basket, and Dolores is with Paul. She's like, "How's your day, Paul?" And he's like, "Where's Mr. Potato?" And she goes, "Oh God, we're gonna get our last shot in, but Frank is coming." "The potato, you mean? He's a potato, isn't he? Ha! He thinks he's gonna call me Buzz Lightyear. Well, I'll call him the potato then. Potato." Like he's really getting off on his potato joke.
He's really happy with that. Really happy with the potato joke.
She's like, Dolores, I'm sorry.
She's like, you know what? Frank has been in the hospital for 5 weeks now. And like all of Frank's medical issues, we don't really talk about it. We just allude to it on this show. Sounds very serious, but you get no further details. I heard he lost a lot of weight. Oh, so he's a French fry now. Very funny, Paulie.
Come on, let's not overshoot. At the very most, he's a wedge.
More like a potato skin, half a potato but still kind of bulky,
still the same on the outside but scraped out on the inside with just a bunch more cheese shoved in there because there's room now. You know what I mean? Cheese, you can clear the man's bowels, but they're just gonna fill up with the same shit, literally.
Frank and Paulie are constantly busting each other's balls. So Paulie calls Frank Mr. Potato Head because the mustache, and he's big, like Mr. Potato, because Mr. Potato Head does roids, So these two grown ass men.
They do now. Have you been to a grocery store? God damn, have you ordered a baked potato in Texas? They're literally bigger than a toddler. Okay, they're humongous. So yeah, they are on roids. They're on human growth hormones.
Human potato hormones. This is what I deal with. So the photographer shows up because Frank needs to do his picture for the charity calendar. So he's going to be dressed like the Easter Bunny. And,
oh, really? A potato is a bunny. A bunny potato! That's going to be hilarious, little potato. Hey, you know what you should dress him in? Ketchup. Ketchup and possibly mustard. Something like that. You know what I'm going to call him? Crisps. Just to confuse the Americans.
So Frank shows up. He's like, "I want photo shoots out here. Okay, what the fuck is that? This is crazy. It's the law.
What, I got a fucking knock now? Come on. So she's like, "God, Frank, you're so tan. Jesus Christ." And he's like, yeah, hey, Paul, what's going on, man? What's going on? I feel good, man. He's like, "Oh, hello. I tried to come to the hospital, but they wouldn't let me leave the space station to come to the potato aisle in the grocery store. Potato? Spuds McKinsey. He's a potato."
Delore, what I'm trying to say is that there's this movie called Toy Story, and there's a potato in it, and there's also there's a spaceman, and together they're in the same room, but they're it's never quite established if they're friends, but they exist together. Do you see what I'm saying? It's quite funny if you think about it.
So Frank is like, the dynamic between Paulie and my family's weird, okay? Because the minute he realizes I'm not a threat is the moment that we can get back to being a family. That's what we need to do here. So I'm just going to try and be nice to the guy. So Paul's like, well, I was expecting a little different from you, potato man. Like, maybe you could pull me aside and tell me how your family worked or something like that, but I guess you guys do things different and just go talk to women about things. And he's like, well, Dolores is my conduit, so I communicated it to Dolores. What do you want? She was my conduit.
Huh. You don't ask a woman to do a potato's job, sir.
Fuck you, Paul. Okay, you were like the great hope coming on this show, being not from this town, I'm assuming, because your accent, and you're Irish. And here you come, just as much of a fucking misogynist. Who says that to somebody? You don't send a woman to do a man's job.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think that like a text is like a man's job anyway, by the way.
It's just
I mean, I don't know.
gross.
What is he?
He's so
I'm
gross.
not totally sure what the end game is here. He definitely is like a dick. If he was trying to be like jokey, then he definitely was not landing.
No, because he says this shit all the time, and it's not cute. And Dolores is like, I love it. What a man. Which, I mean, everybody do their own thing. And my thing is to say that's fucking disgusting. Gross. I hope she dumps you, because that's gross.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
It's really hard to stick with working out.
Oh my God, it's really, really hard.
Me too. And it's a new year, and it's really time to get our butts in shape. And you know what? Peloton makes it really easy.
Oh my God, I'm a big Peloton fan because Peloton is more than just a bike. You probably already know that Peloton makes bikes, but what you may not know is that they also make treadmills. And no, not all treadmills are the same. With the Peloton Tread, you can seamlessly adjust your speed, and it can automatically adjust your incline while you're taking a class, so you never break your stride. I have used a Peloton Tread, and I can attest that this is what happens. It is a lovely, lovely experience. And by the way, it's also not that big. I was shocked by how compact it is.
Because nothing gets you moving like the perfect song, Peloton offers the best playlist with a variety of genres. Whether you're looking for EDM, 90s pop, something soulful, Peloton has music to fit your mood.
It's fitness for all levels. Like, you don't have to be a super athlete to enjoy Peloton because there are classes for every level. Whether you're squeezing in a power walk or training for a marathon, Peloton can help you achieve your fitness goals.
Try Peloton Tread risk-free with a 30-day home trial.
New members only, not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.
Meet Jill Evans. Jill's got it all. A big house, fast car, 2 kids, and a great career. But Jill has a problem. When it comes to love, Jill can never seem to get things right. And then along comes Dean.
I can't believe my luck. Whoa, I've hit the jackpot.
It looks like they're going to live happily ever after. But on Halloween night, things get a little gruesome.
This is where the shooting happened outside a building society in New Romney. It's thought the 42-year-old victim was killed after he opened fire on police.
And Jill's life is changed forever. From Wondery and Novel comes Stolen Hearts, a story about a cop who falls in love with a man who is not all he seems to be. I'm Kerry Godliman. Follow Stolen Hearts on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
It is funny to see Frank frazzled, though. He's like, oh, I didn't even have a number. I didn't even have a number, Dolores. I mean, like, how else am I going to talk to Paulie than through Dolores? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, ask for his number? Like, give me a fucking break. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And so he's like, well, you don't need to go through Dolores. I got her now. She doesn't need it. Like, oh, okay. You got it. So Dolores can't talk on the phone. These men are all red flags. There's not a man on this show who's not a red flag, except for
Frankie.
The ones we don't know. Like Danielle's husband, he seems fine.
He seems nice. He's scared.
Fuda. Fuda, I think I like because it's like Fupa. And it's like, I like that, it's like, because I have one. So I'm like on his team so far. Evan, I believe that Evan probably didn't cheat with that girl from the gym. But of course, now we're suspicious because we've heard it.
I think Fuda we saw a little bit more of his personality, which was nice. But I don't know. I think just like the hair pattern is just like a red flag, because someone on Twitter, the beard pattern, it's like, it's not good. Someone on Twitter was like, posted something like, why does John Fuda's beard rub me the wrong way? And Brian Moylan commented, it's because he shaves the top part of his mustache. And if you look at John Fuda, he shaves this part of his mustache. So there's like a little mustache above his lip, but then there's blank space between the mustache and the nose. So he has this big bushy beard, but then like a small mustache. And the effect is haunting. It's not good.
Well, I told you why, because, when you're really hairy, you have to shave out your face shape. Because you just got hair. That's why I'm always shiny. I've literally just shaved out my whole face, but usually I shave out like a hole to like look out of, like Kenny from South Park, except my hoodie is hair, and so I see that today in Fuda.
I'm gonna get an actual barbershop shave today in honor of the Crappies.
Wow, that is some fancy shit you're doing over there, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit up Carmen. She's gonna give me a nice shave. Last time, Carmen is great. Although last time I think I went there, she threw a chair at someone.
I want to go to Carmen.
She's great.
I want to see someone throw a chair at somebody.
Well, because a guy on the street, she puts out a little chair in front of her barbershop. She has a little barbershop. She saved her money. She opened up a barbershop. She has a little chair outside, and a guy on the street came by and just took the chair. So she went running out. I was like walking up to the shop when this happened. She went running up. She's like, "Give me my fucking chair." And the guy just kept walking with the chair. So she ran up, she yanked the chair from him, and then she beat him with the chair. And then she went back and she's like, "Come on, babe, I got you." And then she like gave me a haircut. It is a true story. I witnessed it with my own eyes. I was like, I love Carmen.
That is so funny. I love her. Okay, so Polly, is a misogynist prick. So then we get Frank dressed like a bunny, and Frankie Jr. comes out just exactly like Frank in a weird used car salesman suit. I'm not sure what he's doing in a full-on suit. And,
he's a realtor now, isn't he?
It just looks weird, like coming to visit your mom's house in a full suit, like, hey, Dad, how you doing, Dad? Yeah, you look great, Dad. Yeah, let me spray down with some oil, Dad. Yeah, Dad, you're looking great, Dad. And he's just exactly like Frank.
Oh, God bless Frankie. He just comes in with a good attitude.
God already did bless Frankie.
Beautiful
Frankie
abs.
has fucking enough. Don't bless Frankie anymore, okay? God, spread it around to the rest of us.
No, I say keep blessing Frankie. Keep blessing him.
The man has a blowjob belt. You've officially won at life, okay? It's time for someone else to get a shot. Scoot over, cheap suit.
Fine. So then we go over to Elia Restaurant, okay? Because Margaret's arriving at a place called Elia, okay? And she goes, hi, Bubby, how are you? It's Melissa and Jackie. They're here to say hi. We're going to have a little luncheon. We're going to talk some talk. We're going to talk about that mozzarella. And oh my God, Jennifer Aiden. She's like a homicidal maniac. Am I right?
And Jackie sees Melissa and she goes, Melissa, I almost wore this top. And she's like, oh, we always do that. You almost wear what I wear. She says, yeah. Then I remember I'm cultured and tasteful. So good to see you. Okay, girls, sit down. So they do, and they're telling Jackie in a very condescending way that she looks healthy. But I feel like the way that they say it is dangerous because she's. I agree. Did you get that sense too? I have food issues, so I was wondering if maybe it was just me.
No, I got that vibe too, because she's saying that she's been chipping away at her eating habits, her toxic eating habits, and therapy's been really helping her, which is all really wonderful news. And
that's also awkward how it's dropped though, right? Because they're like, oh my God, I love your top. Oh my God, we almost wear the same thing. Well, girls, I've tackled some really toxic food habits. So that's good. Therapy's really helping. It's like, well, great. Can we wait for dessert?
Clearly not. Well, because she knew if she didn't, then Melissa was going to start segueing into something about envy. So she's like, let me just do this. Let me just jump on the sword. So Melissa goes, I think this is the best you've ever looked. And Joe thinks so too. And I'm like, I just feel like I wouldn't even broach it because there's so many landmines like that when it comes to eating disorders where you think you're saying something positive, but you're actually triggering something. I would just say you look happy, or you
say you
really
look happy. You're glowing.
You're glowing, but don't say this is the best you've ever
Jackie,
looked.
I don't think Jackie looks any different. To me, she doesn't look any different. But yeah, it's just a weird thing to say to somebody who's talking to you about their eating disorder. Like, oh, well, you look better than you ever had. It sounds like they're saying, like, you've put on some weight and so you look great, And it's like, it's just made me.
Let's just like not define like the zone where you look the best you've ever looked. So that way, then if she falls out of it, she feels shittier. Also, like, let's just say you look happy.
Here's what I do with people. And I do this with people with eating disorders, without eating disorders, with drug issues, without drug issues. Dogs. I say it to dogs, even pets. I say, this is the youngest you're ever going to be again, right in this moment. So thank God how you look. Because in 10 years, social media is going to remind you that you actually looked so much cuter than you thought at that time. So enjoy it. You're going to be older and uglier in literally 5 minutes. So.
Larsa Pippen will not appreciate that. Margaret actually does say you look youthful. You look very youthful. So Jackie's like, so tell me about the cheese making party that I wasn't invited to. It's, I've been with Danielle twice and there were no issues, so I don't understand what's going on. And so Melissa's like, well, she said that you looked her up and down. And Jackie's like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't do that to anybody, but I did look her up and down. Yeah.
Just, can I tell you why? I'll be honest. If it was a train wreck, top to bottom, and I could not look away, she took her shorts out of the hamper or something, and then she put them on. I mean, her outfit was horrible. But if she had a problem with me, she could have called me and been an adult.
Why would she ever call you? I'm sorry. Like, you guys don't know each other that way. If there's someone who I've just met and they're looking me up, they're being like nasty like that, I would only call if I cared to have any sort of relationship or I want to maintain a relationship or repair something. But if I don't know you, I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh, you suck.
This was not Jackie's greatest moment, for sure, especially because she's talking to Melissa, who literally wears that same outfit all the time. They show what she's wearing. It's like little white shorts and, a tank top. That's it. It was nothing crazy, and it's something they all wear all the time, especially Melissa.
Yeah,
you're mad because you got pushed to the side for these new girls, and then these new girls are coming in and fighting on day one and having these huge stories. It's a lot. I mean, I think it would be a lot to be in Jackie's position too. I get it, but that's not good.
I just thought it was funny when she said that Danielle looked like a train wreck. I'm like, I mean, I thought Danielle looked fine. I mean, she was wearing like a white top and shorts, but I'm like, this show is built on train wreck fashion looks. And this is the moment. Danielle is the one that is suddenly like objectionable. I didn't understand it.
Well, if she had said it about the outfit that we see later, where Danielle is talking about her baby clothes business or whatever, and it's like a business with matching clothes for the kid and the mom, and it's terrible. Both of the outfits are fucking. Now, if that was the outfit, okay, but the short shorts and I don't know, not a great look.
That being said, I did appreciate shady Jackie. I like Jackie when she's being shady. I feel like, that's like my favorite version of her, when she's being shady or when she's actually being smart and laying the smackdown on Teresa, and Teresa can't understand it. Those are my two favorite versions of her. And she's being shady right now because Margaret's like, so are you going to go tell her that her outfit is bad? Because no, her wardrobe is punishment enough.
It's like, well, listen, if you're going to make fun of anybody's outfit, it can be Jennifer Aiden. Okay. I just wanted to get that. Yeah, it's like tag. I got to that before we got to Teresa. So she's like, yeah, she's on a downward spiral. I don't care what anybody says. Melissa, I don't care what anybody says. Jennifer Aiden is on a downward spiral, even though someone who's supposed to be on our team is now sticking up for Jennifer Aiden, and her name rhymes with Felissa. Okay, but I was trying to have an adult conversation with her about our makeup and how our makeup was disingenuous, and then she starts getting offended. And I thought, why? Is it because disingenuous not a word? I mean, what's going on here? Teresa doesn't speak good English either. She's still the lead on the show. What can you do?
Melissa's like, well, I just, I see someone who's weak. That's what I see. Okay, and Margaret tells us, no one who's a happy person with everything great in their life, because as they claim, behaves that way. Okay, no one overreacts that way if they're as happy as they say. Okay, and by the way, yes, my hand is still raised up because I'm in a cast. It really hurts quite a bit.
But she does it all the time anyway. It's just like it's like she's giving the love sign to people while she's complaining about them. So, but I won't deal with this. She needs to deal with her marriage, okay? Because she's an open, festering wound. And I almost feel bad. And Melissa's like, oh, I feel bad. I sent something. Oh, shut up, okay? Go take care of your own family, ma'am. Just be quiet. I can't with this Melissa. I can't even believe. And you know what makes me crazy about Jersey is that everybody gets so violent on, the show. I wasn't going to say the show, but they do get violent on the show. But in the comment sections, these Teresa versus Melissa people really go at it, and it's like episode 3, and some of the threads I'm like, okay, I got to dip out of this discussion for the rest of the season, at least on the internet. But then I start getting like that too. I'm like, oh, shut up, Melissa. Fuck off. Yeah. How dare you do that podcast, And then Matt Rogers was on Watch What Happens Live last night with Melissa, sitting next to Melissa. He's so charming and funny and everything anyway. So I think he can pull anything off. But he's also being nice to Melissa because she's sitting right there. And I'm like, no, Melissa's not a queen, okay? You can't just, no, sir, no. And then so now I'm riding against Matt Rogers, Who?
Well,
who doesn't love Matt Rogers,
But
I know you probably agree with him. I'm saying is the show makes me violent and angry.
You know what? I fully anticipated this. I was going to look. I saw that he was on, and I saw that it looked like he was probably supporting Melissa. I didn't have a chance to watch it because I decided to get a bagel this morning instead. But I was like, you know what? I feel like we're going to have one of these things again where I'm still on team Melissa and Joe. After watching this episode, because I watched the first half of it last night, the second half this morning. And at first I was like, ooh, this is bad. When Gabriella, we're going to get to it, but when Gabriella is like talking about Joe, I feel like Gabriella is a little bit more of a voice of reason in that household. I was like, that's bad. This is making me think twice about Joe and Melissa. But then as I watched the whole thing, I was like, you know what? No, Teresa's a monster. I'm sorry, Teresa's a monster. She's a toxic person. And is Melissa a saint? No. Is she passive aggressive? Yes. Does she often state things to make herself look best? Yes. But I still, despite all that, I think that I'm totally on Joe and Melissa's side on this.
Oh God, not me at all.
100%.
Not me at all.
100%.
And of course, Teresa's a monster, but she's our monster. She's like a monster from Monsters, Inc., where they're like cute and fun,
Well, Joe's my monster. Joe's my monster then. We each have our own monsters. We're like Pokemon or something.
Yeah, I hate them. So they keep talking about Jen, and Melissa actually does not start going off about her business. She just says that she feels bad, guys, which she doesn't. I think that what she's trying to do is knock Teresa off balance by becoming friends with Jen, because Jen is really Teresa's biggest ally on this show, and she's doing the meeting with Margaret. I don't know how much Melissa knows at this point about what Margaret has been spreading about Melissa. If she knows anything, she has not let on yet. But it looks like she's trying to switch alliances up and get Margaret's villain away from Tree and on her side to fight.
I think that's too sophisticated a plan for Melissa. I think Melissa's just doing a classic thing of doing fake, playing this fake sympathy card, so that way at the reunion she can say, I was rooting for you. I mean, we see her do it just this episode with Louis. Listen, I'm not saying Melissa's. I'm just on my side. I'm not saying Melissa's fine, but Melissa's like, we squashed it, and I was there on your side. I defended you to Margaret. I defended you so hard. I said I think that you're weak. That's all. And then what's the thanks that I get? You didn't invite me to your slipper making class. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go over to Rachel. She's going to a photography studio with her daughter and John Fupa. And she's like, my husband John and my daughter Gianella. We named her after a cheese. Okay, Gianella, pose. Show mommy 2 fingers. Show mommy 2 fingers. And she does. She's like, oh my God, you're so cute. I can't take it.
I know everyone thinks they have the cutest kid, but I actually have the cutest kid. And like, that's why we do so many photo shoots, because she's not getting him modeling tips from John. I'll tell you that much. She's getting them from me. And by the way, we see then John in his like lumberjack centerfold outfit. And then she's getting the tips from me because I take so many damn pictures of her. So then they're taking photos and everything. And she's like, John, don't you want to have another one? He's like, hey, but we just had one like 3 months ago, huh?
She goes, did you mishear me, John? And he's like, I think I did because we just had one like 3 months ago. She goes, you had one, huh? Oh, you know what? There was a time we thought we couldn't do this, and guess who did it? Me, okay? I'm the one that was split open like a fucking sunroof, okay? Where were you? What were you doing, John? Was it difficult, like sitting there, eating meatballs while I was pregnant for 9 months, okay? You idiot.
So then she talks about their journey because she had to do IVF, and she talks about how when they first got together, she got pregnant right away. She had a miscarriage, and then she didn't get pregnant ever again after that. So then she starts crying because it brings up obviously a lot of emotions, and they still have 5 embryos left. So she wants to have another kid. She's like, come on, look, we got your stepson, which is great. We've got Gianella. We also have the baby Citronella. And we also have, we could have a future baby, Portobello. Okay, come on.
Yeah. And he's like, just because you got 5 embryos, you don't got to use them. I watched that other Real Housewives. I'm going to get a glass etched with a tree on it, and we could just have 5 little meatballs hanging off of it. Right?
Except instead of a tree, I was thinking that it could be like a street sign, So...
a no outlet sign with 5 little meatballs hanging off of it, right?
Just like a whole, like a bunch of spaghetti on the wall, branching out.
An exit only sign, all right?
The Jersey Turnpike sign. And where they got the traffic cameras? Each one of those traffic cameras can be one of the embryos.
So then we go to Teresa in her Lowe's built backyard, her like Lowe's built Zen garden. Yeah, it's like the Buddha from Lowe's. We've all seen it, or the big ball with the water fountain coming out of it. Yeah, it's like big box store.
Okay. I thought they were in a room.
No, well, she starts in the backyard with her journal.
Okay.
And she doesn't write really well, or probably, no language. We know how she is with language. So we see what she's drawing in her notebook, and it's just like tiny little shapes of pastas. She's got like, rigatoni, blink, 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 cavatelli, blink, 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 blink. It's like the Teresa form of meditation.
I never thought I'd be the kind of girl who would journal. But, Louis said try it once. And I was like, gay men do it all the time. It's like, no, that's anal, not journal. Oh.
Sorry. Why are they always talking about exit only signs? That was a scene before you.
So.
Penny. Dong. Bing, 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 bing.
So Gia enters while she's like, I am true to myself. I am living in my heart. I am strong. I need to go to D'Agostino's.
I'm strong like a fettuccine sauce. So she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, journaling. And she goes, you want some salad? She goes, nah, because I want to lose 10 pounds for the wedding. Blink, blink, blink. And she's like, Mom, it's salad.
Blink, 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 blink. Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So then Louis comes in like I think he's wearing like a tank top or something. And Teresa's like, the wedding's coming up. And Gia's like, yeah, everything's going to look so beautiful. It's just going to be fine, Mom. Like, stop worrying about it. And she's like, yeah, well, the other day when I went to Danielle's house for a mozzarella party and talking to Melissa brought up the engagement party. And she's like, she said that I lied. She said I lied.
You did lie. You admitted to lying at this very party. Why are you even bringing this up again, you dum-dum?
Yeah.
So Louis is like, oh, yeah, from the liar herself. From the liar herself.
Yeah, and then Teresa's like, and why does she bring this up months later? I'm like, because you brought it up. You brought up, because you and Jennifer were talking about the wedding. Teresa, you literally said to the group, should we? I'm thinking about having a no table arrangement or seating arrangements at the wedding. You literally brought it up.
Yep. So Dum, such a liar. And Louis, stop with this, stirring the pot and being so negative. You're supposed to be the peaceful one. We should work everything out. And he's like trying to really rile everybody up against Teresa.
He really is.
Against what's her buns, the Gorgas. So yeah, Gabriella comes in and Teresa's like, sorry, I don't want you guys involved in the drama, all right? Melissa's a bitch and a stripper. Clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, but she kind of pulled me back in. I'm like, this is like a little room of toxicity in here, a Lowe's built room of toxicity, because Teresa should not be like airing this shit out to her daughters. She shouldn't be. I know they're older and they can have these conversations, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay, it's like the rules of Jurassic Park. And so, like,
they both do it. They're just Joe and Teresa are just both awful.
No, but Joe's no, because later in the episode, when he's ready to talk shit about Teresa, he sends his kids away from the table.
No, okay? Well, no, he does. I mean, they send the kids away from the table. You're correct. That happened in the show, but after they had already been talking about shit in front of the kids, and then talking shit about in front of the kids again.
But he's not saying to the kids like, "What's your opinion? What do you think?" Da, 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 da. Like Teresa is like actively involving them in a way that I don't think that she should.
So she is like, she goes, yeah, so she pulled me in, but then we came to an understanding, and I actually asked her to be in the wedding, and she said no. She said no to that. And she's like, I wish you hadn't even asked her, because that's like, I mean, look, not for nothing. She acted like while you were in prison that she was there for us, and she wasn't there for us. And then we hear a clip of On Display, Melissa's podcast, which is just hilarious to me that it's called On Display. The song you wrote about yourself before you... I mean, you had the guy from church write about you before you were famous or even... I mean, I can't with her. So we see the picture of On Display, and it's like 3 different pictures of Melissa, like... And one of them's like trying to put her face down, but also mess with her hair at the same time. It's the most awkward podcast cover I've ever seen.
Well, the pictures represent each and every day. Okay? That's when she's
every day, every day.
I'm on display.
Everybody's waiting for me to fall. Everybody's waiting on me to fall. They can keep waiting on me to fall. Waiting on me to fall.
It's a good song.
Girl, I've shimmied and sang that to myself so many times, It's like Alexia says. Doesn't matter if I like her or not. I can recognize a hit when I hear it.
I recognize it when I hear it. So this is the podcast. We hear Joe Gorga saying like, when she was in prison, Joe wasn't working at all. Okay, they had no income at all. And Melissa's like, yeah, that whole like Teresa Goes to Prison show that needed to be made because Joe didn't need to like make money. Like he needed to make money on the show, So he needed someone to film with, and here we were. We jumped in to film with him.
This is bad. So this whole clip, I don't know if you've heard stuff online. They're basically saying that Teresa used them to make money for Joe so that they're basically saying they were supporting Teresa's children while she was in prison by filming with Joe and giving them an income. You two used Teresa to get on this show in the first place and still used her even when her ass was in prison to get yourselves a paycheck. Give me a fucking break. I can't believe they would have the nerve to go into a public space and say that and then act like they didn't say anything offensive at all. Like, the balls on these people.
Right. So Gia's like, well, the only time we really saw them was when the camera was on them. That's the only time they ever came over, and I really can't remember any other time that I saw them.
Yeah. And to prove it, we see a clip of Teresa checks in, and they're having a family dinner, and she is like, Uncle Joey, I just want to thank you. It means so much that you're here. Like, just thank you for being here. It means so much that you're here. And he's like, yeah, anytime, babe. But she's saying that they're acting like they were there every day and they were never there, basically.
Right. Now, and so when they said that, especially and Gabriella, she's like, yeah, like, why would they say that? Like, and they're saying like, oh, to look like a good aunt. So I mean, like, I'm inclined to believe them. I also, however, this is Teresa's household, and Teresa has a pretty big track record of having super, super, super high demands of what like being there really means, right? Like with Teresa, like the amount of hoops that people have to jump through, to show loyalty. Like there is a part of me that says like, I'm not going to take this fully on face value because I would not be surprised if like Joe is doing some other things and that like wasn't good enough, quote unquote, wasn't good enough, because we've seen that pattern before. I'm not saying that Joe and Melissa are off the hook, but like, let's not forget this is a Teresa household where the definition of like being there is it could be a little different than what maybe you and I describe as being there.
Well, I'm taking it because it's Gabriella saying it, and she's like, especially, wait, here, let me see. She's like, Teresa goes, you guys came to see me every week and you would tell me who you saw. And Gabriella goes, yeah, it's hurtful that he would say that because like that was 5 years of my life and it was a very sensitive time for me, and especially when it's not true. So it's making it sound like they just weren't there, like literally we're not there.
I think that like Gabriella is like she's the strongest witness there because she's not like Gia. Like I don't really trust Gia anymore. I'm sorry to say. I feel like she just become a mini tree. But I feel like Gabriella, she seems to have some like sense about her. I can also imagine though, by the way, Joe Giudice was still in that household, and Joe do have a strained relationship. And I can also imagine Joe and Melissa being like, is it our place to be coming over every week? Or maybe Joe Giudice is a dick to them. So like, I just feel like there's more.
That's fine, but for them to be like, we were there. Joe literally says in this episode, we were there every day, crying, holding her in my arms. We were there, and it's like, well, literally, no one is agreeing with you now. Just to give you some agreement, okay. I believe that the kids are brainwashed too.
Yeah.
Because, and you don't want to piss off Teresa. And, if you don't want to piss off Teresa, the only way to do is agree with her. And also they're acting just like her as far as being victims about everything. Like like Gabriella coming on and being like, that 5 years of my life, how could they do this to me? Actually, your mom and your dad did that to you.
They did. Okay? That's exactly correct.
So even if somebody just brought you rigatoni one day, that's more than those fuckers were doing. So, I don't know. And I'm not trashing her because I actually like her and I like all the kids, but I think they're in that situation where they're living with crazy people. They're constantly surrounded by crazy people.
They're influenced. Yeah. And by the way, don't discount the influence of Joe Giudice, because honestly, Gia only turned against Joe Gorga the moment that Joe Giudice got out of jail. They used to have like a really lovely, beautiful relationship. Joe Giudice gets out of jail, and we have last season starting off with being like, you're saying all this shit about my dad. You're saying all this shit about my dad. When the dad is a schmuck. He was.
Yeah, the dad's a schmuck.
The dad drove the wedge in that family more than anyone else.
No, Joe, you can't go talk about that. Like, listen, well, I'm going to compare it to my own family, but I guess it's not really the same at all. But you stick up for your dad or your mom in the situation, even if you're having issues with them. You can't. Joe's horrible. Joe's horrible too. I mean, like, this is the problem recapping this show. You can't win. Neither one of us can win. Because you can be on one team side, but they're horrible people.
Then you realize you're defending
neither
Joe
one of them
Giudice.
is. Yeah, you're defending Joe Giudice or Joe Gorga. They both suck. They're monsters. Okay.
Yeah, well,
I think
Joe Giudice is. I think one thing we can agree on is Joe Giudice is the worst of all of them.
No, I don't agree. Not really.
Joe Giudice, I think,
we haven't seen Joe Gorga doing the like my bitch wife and obviously cheating on his wife on camera. So yeah, I would say Joe Giudice is worse. But there's also a lot of stuff that the Gorgas might just not have been caught for. Like we've seen a lot of shady shit from them. So I don't know.
They're
Time
smart
will tell.
enough not to be caught, unlike Joe Giudice, who walks off with a mic on and talks to his mistress on camera and gets caught.
True.
At least this guy who like had actually several outs from his case, and they're so stupid. They wound up in this situation. Like Joe said, his wife put in jail for a year. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on because we're almost an hour into this, and it's the same shit we talk about. We're forced to talk about every fucking week, because the show is stuck. The show is stuck. Okay. So it's like the show is stuck where every housewife wants to be stuck in time. Okay. I need to see some actual aging on this storyline. Thank you. Yeah. So they're still talking about this, and they're all such victims of Joe and Melissa. And Teresa's like, oh my God, Gabriella's breaking out in hives. She's so upset. And so then Teresa's like, yeah, Melissa's her godmother. How could she lie about that? Being there for my children. And Louis is like, I don't think she even puts her left foot in front of her right foot without her husband knowing it. That's what I think. I'm like, oh my God. Is every scene gonna feature?
The guy later in the episode who's like, yeah, well, Teresa drew a line in the sand, so we'll have to support her. I mean, like, you literally do the same thing. And by the way, that actually is like, that's okay.
That's what you should do.
Yeah. Yeah, they're lying together. They're going down this road to hurt you, okay? They're trying to go down this road to hurt you.
Yeah, they just want to hurt you. That's all they want. But it is her fault. And then Gabriella's like, you literally have one family member. You're literally 3 family members sitting right there and a stepdad who's also a new family member. So that's 4 of you right there. So that's some Giudice counting right there.
A big toxic whirlpool, all of them sitting there.
They
just
really
like
are.
Feeding toxicity to each other and like thriving off of it.
It's like an entire family with swamp butt sitting in a hot tub together and rubbing their buttholes up against the jet at the same time. That's where we are. Okay, so then Gia's like, at this point, like the train's gotta like stop. And then Louis just like looks angrily out the window, but like peacefully, like, look at my Lowe's Buddha. So then we go to
take this man acting this way.
So we go to Danielle and Melissa shopping together. Okay, Melissa's pulling a rack for Envy, right?
Yeah.
With her, what does she call her? Her like account executive Taylor.
Some lady, basically. She's like at a place. She's deciding which looks she's going to buy for her store. And Danielle's like, oh, I walked in at the best time. Look at all the glitter. She goes, Teresa's my friend, and I hear things from her, but Melissa's living the life I'd like to live with business. She has a nice small shop where she buys things for herself and puts them in the shop and then takes those things home. That's the life.
I mean, the woman's on Canal Street. You know how happy my husband would be if he got to visit me on a street with anal in it? Every day of my life, he's my dream. So Melissa's like, yeah, let me show you how we do buying, okay? And Danielle tells us about her story. She's like, I used to work in an account executive. I was a event planner, and I hated it. And I just had my daughter Valentina, and then I thought, what do I love to do? I love to dress Valentina. So that's when it was born. Boom! Bougie kids.
Serious, like, I'm sorry, this brand
Valentina is a young woman in a world of fashion. Well, that's what Valentina is. Did you hear the Alexa?
Yeah. Alexa was like, yeah, like I want to weigh in on this story. I can verify it. So Melissa's like taking clothes. She's like, okay, let's take these and put them on a rack. And Danielle's like, so you just take clothes and put it on the rack. I love it. She is literally like out of an 80s movie where it's like the girl from the country goes to the big city and learns about fashion. What? You got another rack of clothes back there? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, it's actually Working Girl. It's the girl from Staten Island getting on the ferry every day. Yeah, and going to figure it out.
She's going to start pushing dim sum around these scenes next.
And we see the picture of her proving that she loves fashion with her bougie kids line. And it is a picture of her and Valentina, who looks just like the kid from The Last of Us. I don't know if anybody watched. Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us. She was also in Game of Thrones, like the little tough girl who killed the giant at the end.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She looks like her.
The same girl.
Yeah.
Well, good for her.
Look at Bella Ramsey, just everywhere.
Wow,
So
she seems like she's pretty real for real. Well,
pack and ship. So, yeah, I would pack and ship her if I saw her. I'd pack and ship real for real. So, I'm trying to say this. So it's bougie kids, and we see a picture of what it was, and the business idea is the mom dresses exactly like the kid, so it's close.
It's like that.
It's
like
matching
that
outfits.
episode of Arrested Development where we see like a montage of Lucille Bluth and Buster dressed in matching costumes for some sort of like Newport Society event. Like when they dress as like Sonny and Cher and as huge sailors. It's like that, but it like really happened.
Yeah.
So,
and they're wearing vertical stripes, like these kind of sleeveless tank
pinstripe
things. Yeah, but they're like huge. They're not pins.
Yeah.
They're like big, thick
Magic
stripes.
marker stripes.
They're like vertical blind stripes.
Lasagna stripes.
Thin fettuccine stripes, a thick noodle. Okay. And then like poofy shorts with pom-poms sewn onto the bottom of the cuffs. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard the Working Girl theme play while this picture was up.
The working girl theme song was like, you know what? We can like hold off on that river. It's like it doesn't need to flow. Let the river just hang out.
Let the pom pom flow. So
Run.
she's like,
Don't
bougie.
bougie is over the top, it's glamorous, and it's edgy. It represents who I am.
And Melissa's like, you're going to see now shiny stuff because we're pulling for the holidays. So basically, you're trying to decide what your person is going to buy. She goes, ha, you! You!
Good old Danielle. So I just am laughing at the idea that she described herself as edgy. So then Danielle, she starts talking about Melissa,
bougie and edgy.
I'm edgy, just like me. So Melissa is, of course, stirring the pot, and she's like, so I had lunch with Jackie, and she's a little insulted about the mozzarella party. And Danielle's like, get over it. You're sizing me up. Come on, that's ridiculous. She goes,
By the way, it's mutts. Don't talk funny. Don't talk funny on purpose. It's not funny. Respect my culture.
Mutz.
It's
so
mutts.
she's like, yeah, well, she was being a little feisty about the shorts you were wearing, and she said you looked like you pulled them out of the hamper. I'm like, Melissa, you were such a shitty friend.
Melissa's a shitty friend, and this is what I'm telling you. Melissa's jumping ship this year. She's gonna try and be Team Jen this year. So
Or
Danielle's
she's a great
like,
friend because she's gonna involve Jackie in some drama to get her on the show.
maybe, yeah. So she's like, yeah, I pulled your shorts out of the hamper. And Danielle goes, there you go. Called it from a mile away, and I'm glad I didn't invite her then. She was jealous. That's what she was. She was jealous of my legs. Let's be real.
Yeah, she's like, please let me call a spade, okay? She's a judgy bitch. Judgy bitch. I'm like, well, wait till you meet Jennifer Aiden.
Yeah.
So Danielle's like,
and literally everybody else on television.
Everyone on,
really.
True. Like literally this entire cast. So Melissa's talking about how she and Teresa have like a long history because they're talking about the party, and she's saying, we have a long history. And Danielle's like, you know what? For me, it hits differently. Okay. For me, it's sort of, it hits almost like cheddar at a Mott's party. It's like a little different, like burrata. It's sort of like mozzarella, but it's not, because I'm the sister in my relationship and I don't talk to my brother. Okay. And we were very close when COVID hit. What happened was I started recording these videos of myself, and we see like her doing some sort of stupid video. And in my mind, I'm like, where is this possibly going? If we're setting up the story of in COVID, I take videos of myself.
And it's videos of her like dancing and then falling down wackily. You know, they're just like, eh. And she's like, yeah, well, I just thought to myself, you know what? There's all these kids out there making these videos and they're making millions of dollars. And I'm like, I can do this. And it cuts to her falling over with a Dyson. I was like, that is great. So Danielle said,
Yeah, so I'm making these videos, and then my brother comes on, and he's making fun of me. And, you know, I was like, fine, you're going to make fun of me? So just block. I'll just block him. And I didn't think anything of it. And then he calls me, and he's like, did you block me on Insta? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I did. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, you're out of my way. You're out of my way now. And I thought it was a joke. I was like, talk to you later. And obviously, it wasn't a joke, because now he doesn't talk to me anymore, you know, which is funny because talk is part of TikTok, you know?
So Melissa's like, so you're out of the wedding just over him, just because of this, like, of Instagram, because of like him making fun of you? She's like, I feel like I'm missing
that makes
something.
no sense. Yeah.
So Danielle's like, oh, well, there's this other thing, because, you know, there was some things while he was planning his wedding. Okay, like, I try not to put my 2 cents in, but, you know, I do anyway. You know, so I don't have a blood sister. So, you know, this was exciting for me, and I wanted to do things for her. And it was like, oh, it's not about you, Danielle. And I was like, damn, there's like a new girl in town. And like, what's so crazy is like, I told her, like, I'm the type of sister, if you do something bad, I'm going to tell you. And like, you know, because I'm never going to have my family break up ever. So then I sent a text message to my brother, and it pretty much says, I kind of see now who you're dealing with. She's a bitch, skank ass hoe. And you know what? Good luck to getting married to her, because you can have every single disease in the book. That's all I did. That's all.
Yeah, well, I did. I sent one little text. I said, you know what? We're mutts. She's Munster. That's it. And, you know, he never spoke to me again.
And Melissa's like, how long ago was this? And she's like,
2 years ago. I personally think it's the wife. It's the wife.
I love that she has no problem just straight up like, hey, Melissa will shoot a scene with me. I'm going to come for her and immediately blame her for all of the problems.
Basically.
Because she's the wife.
Well, but also, like, this Danielle is clearly out of the Teresa mold, because she's like, yeah, I mean, he was making fun of my Instagram videos, and I was, you know, I just blocked him for my own personal mental health, and now I'm out of the wedding. Oh, but I did actually get really bossy at the wedding, and I did try to, like, take over, and I did, like, try to, you know, call all the shots, and when they told me to stop, I basically told off his fiance on a text message. But that's, you know, that's immaterial.
There's a new chick in town. I love that. So Melissa's like, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate because I am the wife. So, you know, listen, I know that in Teresa and Joe's relationship, I was always trying to get them back together. No one had more open arms than me. And if they're not ready, they're not going to do it. You know, he just wasn't ready. And Danielle goes, are you sure, though? Are you sure? Is that what you said? Are you sure?
You know, I don't want Joe to end up in the same place as where I am with my brother. And Melissa's like, you know what? He's a grown man, and I can only try so many times. Only so many times.
Wow, spoken like a true bitch wife. Well, this was fun. Okay, see you later, wife.
So I love how this is like the thing. It is kind of funny. They all blame the in-laws. It's like, well, you know.
They blame the women. They blame the other women.
Well, no,
you know, the men are all just easy little babies who didn't do anything wrong. It's the wife. It's the wife's fault.
No, but Joe does blame Louis later in the episode. He's like, Louis should have said to Teresa, hey, he's your brother.
Well,
so
that's
like
true.
they all are like,
it's
just so ridiculous. So now we go over to Jen's house, and she sees Olivia. She's like, hey, baby, why are you in your nightgown, babe? It's the middle of the afternoon.
She goes,
that's the life of me.
and she's like posing in her little nightgown, and her nightgown says, let me sleep.
Yeah.
She's like, Bill comes in, and he's like, ding dong. And Jen goes, Daddy's home. And so he's like, oh, Olivia, these are your sleeping pajamas. She goes,
I'm a child, and I can get along. I can get whatever I want. All right? I can get along in anything.
And then her like brother goes, don't do that.
Yeah, because she throws her head down and flips her hair back.
And then the other brother is at that age where I'm sorry, parents, because this seems to cut across no matter all regions, all backgrounds, the bangs in the front, you know,
it's the combed forward swoop hair. It's the dumbest fucking haircut. And listen, we're from the 90s. We're from the 80s and 90s as kids. I remember terrible hair. We all had terrible hair. This is the worst. Because you guys should know better now. You have the internet. You can see how style has evolved. So to go to that where you just comb your hair all forward, hair doesn't naturally go that way. You guys.
Yeah, well, some hair does, but
Not
like
theirs.
that hair, but like this is a stupid look. It's a stupid look.
And it's terrible.
And it's been around for a long time. And like teenagers, I know you may not be listening to this podcast, but you're supposed to be internet savvy. And like Ronnie said, be internet savvy and look on the internet and then look for hair examples. Okay.
Well, you're in the car with like your mom or dad or whoever right now, and they're forcing you to listen to these two old queens talking about this stuff. I don't care. These are your aunties. That hair is stupid. I'm telling you right now. And everybody who looks at you, except other people your age, think it's stupid. I know that's kind of the point, but I'm trying to warn you for your future self when you are our age and you have to look back at pictures that are going to be constantly posted of you and you're trying to get a job at a bank or something. People are going to laugh you out of the room. Stop with the stupid hair. Comb your hair.
No one thinks you're a rebel. No one thinks this is like a moment of independence. It's actually like the exact opposite of a moment of an independent thing to do because you're just conforming to some other thing.
You all look the same. You all look like little weird mushrooms.
If you're all like, if you know, like Zac Efron and Justin Bieber used to do it like 13 years ago, they stopped at like 12 years ago. Like even it was like Justin Bieber's thing, and even he stopped. Okay,
yeah,
so
stop it.
It's just it's done. It's over. And I realize this is a discussion. Over. There's implications on who has this sort of hair. I'm saying for the people who grow their hair like that, whose hair is like that, stop it.
So Bill's like, "What are you kids doing tonight? Some chores?" She goes, "Well, that was clean sloppy, but I guess you can do some more chores then." And Olivia's like, "Money, money, 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 mother." And so she's like, "Okay, Bill, but what do you pay for minimum wage these days? $1,900 an hour or something?" She's like, 14, mother. She goes, "Okay, fine." She just got the kids all $14 an hour to do the most terrible job at chores I've ever seen children do. One of the boys grabs a bag of trash and drags it on the floor. Trash.
I cannot believe she's paying these children minimum wage. You know what they get paid? Dinner. They get paid rides. They get paid a basketball court in the basement. That's what they get paid.
They get paid a view of the Paramus Mall. You know what I mean? From their 18 bathroom home or whatever the fuck. They get to poop looking at the parking lot of the, whatever Dillard's is in Paramus. That's what you get paid.
But of course, Jen indirectly blames this all on Marge. She's like, "What can I do? I'm a sucker for my kids, especially after the infidelity became public. It was really hard on my kids. Thanks, Margaret. Now I got to pay my kids because of you."
Bill's like, 14 an hour, that's a bit generous, isn't it? And so now this is about how Jen and Bill aren't seeing eye to eye on parenting. So she's like, "Okay, kids, let me show you how to do some dishes. First, you get a cup and you wash it while the water's running. And then you put some more water on it, and you wash some more, then you put some more water on it." And Bill's like, "No, what you do is you wash everything, you wet everything, then you turn the water off and wash everything. And once everything's soaped up and scrubbed and ready to rinse, you turn the water back on. There's a water shortage everywhere. And the best way to be under some streaming water is all together. Am I right, boys?"
So then the kids are like, go away and everything. And Jen's like, "Sometimes I feel like it's easier if I just do it myself." I'm like, when have you done any of these things? You've been spending the whole season looking for a maid.
That's true, but I believe that she still does a lot because she's just got too much going. A maid can't handle it,
No.
I think she does do it. But I love that Bill, the person who built a home with 19 bathrooms, is now trying to conserve water. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to, sir?
So she's like, so the other day, Christian called me because he left his t-shirt at home and Justin didn't have a car, so I had to drop him off at school. And I was like, oh my God. So I was pretty late to Danielle's mutz party. And then Margaret came up to talk to me and said something like, you're disingenuous. And then she tried to tell me I wasn't self-reflective. And I was like, shine some light on me, baby. You'll see glitter all over the room. I reflect everywhere, baby.
I told her I'm the most self-reflective person here. And Bill's like, don't you think I'm self-reflective, Bill? You know me better than anybody. Go ahead, say it, Bill. He's like,
He's harmonizing with himself.
He's like doing, in Vogue, he's like, I'm like, that's the tune of Never Gonna Get It, Never Gonna Get It, Bill.
I'm giving you something he can feel. So, listen, we all have different personalities. Some are fabulous, some are sexy, and some are naughty. But they're all different, and I think at times this is what happens.
Are any of us perfect? And she's like, oh my God, why is he always a peacemaker? I don't want to hear so no one wants to look at themselves, or we need to consider water shortages together. Shut the fuck up, Bill. And he's like, now you can acknowledge your part in it, can't you? And she goes, which is what? What's my part? I was like, you just said you're self-reflective 5 times, and you're refusing to see your part.
I can't see my part in it because I got too much my own reflection in my eyes. So,
well, we're all different letters in the alphabet.
Well, I don't need my husband to validate other people's point of view. Sometimes I just need him to have my reflecting back like a disco ball. Oh, I'm down with a disco ball, baby.
I don't think that being with somebody means they always have to agree with you. That's insane. And you're crazy. Okay. He's trying to help you. He's trying to help, listen to the guy. He's helping you in the nicest way possible. Okay. Because you're wrong. As usual, you were completely wrong. And actually, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love Jen with just her natural curly hair and her depression scrunchies. I love it. That's how I like her.
Yeah. With full delusions of self-reflection.
Yeah.
So now we go to back to Danielle's house. And they're getting ready for Valentina has an art show. She was going to do an art show in school, but it got canceled because of COVID. So she wanted to make sure Valentina got to do her art show anyway. So the whole living room is done up with all these weird Party City decorations that suggest art. I don't remember what they were, but it was cardboard cutouts of crayons and paint palettes and things like that.
Well, it's a Jersey house, so it's like a slice of pizza stuck to a wall, like a can of Aquanet on a bookshelf.
There's actually one of
there.
those Salvador Dali, of the melting clocks, except it's just pizzas, just melting off the shelves.
It's what is that painting called? The Scream. Oh, but it's Macaulay Culkin.
It's like a garlic knot.
It's a garlic knot coming.
Someone holding a garlic knot like this.
It's a garlic knot screaming with swirls of tomato sauce behind it. So yes. Nate Cabral, she's like, you need to go hide because grandma and grandma are almost here. All right, you're going to need to make a what? What is it? A big entrance. All right, go hide. Go hide in your tutu.
So her dad, Phil, comes over. Big Phil. And he's like a Staten Island stereotype in kind of the best way. Because he's like, hey, I ain't taking my shoes off. Okay, all right. Hey, how's it going? And he's walking and everything. And she's like, you know what? Big Phil, he's the life of the party. He's so fun. He's like, where are my kids? Where are my kids? I want to see my kids. Okay.
This dad is such a character. He's got Dom DeLuise energy. He's wearing a black shirt with red cuffs. He's like, hey, it's me, the life of the party. Ah! Is that a garlic knot yelling? God damn it, I love art.
I love art so much. And she's like, well, they're going to make a grand entrance, Dad. Because a grand entrance, I'm going to whack him over the head with my flowers.
So then the mom comes over and she's also brought flowers, So now it's the Battle of the Flowers, because
My parents divorced when I was 8. It was traumatizing. The first time I saw him get along was the birth of my son, because I said, listen here. If you're going to be around here to watch me shave my entire son's head except one little dewy duck swoop, or teach him what the front comb is, you're going to have to get along, because I will not have this in my autistic home. Do you understand?
Yeah. So the mom comes in and everything. And then Dominic comes down the stairs and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Valentina Cabral. So Valentina comes down. She comes down. She's like, thank you for coming to my art show. So at this point, I'm thinking like, okay, she's going to show like a painting of like a duck. And like a painting of like the sun. And like, here's my family. And it's going to be like these like basic like houses, like square with a triangle and like stick figure-y kind of things, whatever. And so Danielle's like, okay, here's your first piece. Who was the artist that inspired this? And she goes, Piet Mondrian. And she has like a Mondrian. I was like, wait, what?
and she's doing the paintings, you know?
She's doing it. Yeah, the painting. It's like a pretty like and then Danielle's like, and what did Piet Mondrian focus on? He focused on primary colors.
Okay, now this one is abstract art. Who is this inspired by? She's like, Kandinsky.
Wassily Kandinsky. It's like, I was like, what? The juxtaposition of the colors against the background suggests the emptiness and the meaningfulness of life.
And the grand finale is a Pollock. I mean, hilarious. So they all
honestly,
stand up and give her a standing
I was
O.
giving a standing. I was like, this is the best children's. How old is that girl? 4?
The first time Ben has ever approved of this shit on Bravo. A kid scene on Bravo. This wins. This has to win something.
Honestly, I actually really respected it. Like that. I mean, how cool is that? This girl's 4, and like she's already knows about these major painters and these paintings. Like respect to that school and everything.
It's so funny. So then Dominic gives her flowers. He's like, that was amazing. And then they hug. And it's so cute. And she's like,
Oh, my kids are very close, and if they separated the way my brother did, it would kill me. That would never happen as long as I live, because if my son marries a mega bitch, I will poison her. Just saying. Just saying.
So the husband is
I made
like,
a painting from Georgia O'Keeffe. It was inspired. Okay, we can just end it right there.
but it's because you're wearing those short shorts and
All right, that's enough, Melissa. Go to bed.
That's enough. That's enough. You did a great
go
job.
to bed. So then the dad's like, oh. He does that thing where he cries with his fist in his mouth, like B. Arthur on the Golden Girls, when she's like, oh, I'm gonna bite my fist, and he's crying like that, and like
I didn't know people actually cried like that. Like I thought they only cry like that in comedy
cartoons
movies
or
about
something, right? Like,
yeah, like the comedies about mafiosos. Like, oh! He actually cries like that. My children.
So it's like, I want my children to be together. Why aren't you together? And she's like,
All right, Dad, no more crying, all right? Can I get you a shot? You want limoncello, Dad?
And he's like, I need my children together.
Like
this is killing me. The day he was born, you ran into the hallway to me and you said, I got a baby brother. A baby brother. I'll never forget it. I see the video 90 times a day.
A Buada. You said Buada. And I love the mom. Angel goes, it's sad. It's sad. I love the moms on this show, how they just state very, like, they break it down to its simplest state. It's sad.
It's funny because they're so obsessed with gender roles on this show, right? It's like the men do this and the women do that. And like the women needs to stay at home with the kids. And like they're so old fashioned in that way. But in the other way, it's like the women are always the strong ones and the men are always sobbing. You know, it's like the men start sobbing over any little thing.
I know. There's like there's a big gulf between what they say, like family, and versus what they do, which is like none of them talking. Or in this case, strength versus crying. Although, is there really weakness in crying? I don't think so. So Now we
No, but that's the thing. To them, it would be. You know, yeah. So then we go to Melissa and Joe, and Melissa's like, Joe, help my family make a salad. Help me make my family a salad. And I was like, oh my God, she's got balsamic this time. That's impressive.
She's
last time she just didn't she just serve them like iceberg and water before?
Yeah, like with no dressing. So then Gino comes up wearing a shirt saying that says virginity rocks, and Melissa's like, virginity does rock. Tell that to your sister. And Antonia's like, Mom, it's
nah. It don't count with your sister. First of all, it don't count with your sister. Am I right?
Yeah, go up the attic with the flowers. So Gino's like, yeah, it's a merch shirt, Mom. So then Donna and Lisa, I don't know if I didn't write down which sister it was. I just called her Lisa because I feel like, again, all the sisters.
I don't care. Like, I literally don't care with these sisters.
I love Mama Donna. I love Donna. So Melissa's like, hey Mom, does vinegar expire? I just made the most beautiful salad. Okay, I opened up the nicest bag of lettuce I could find and put this balsamic on it. Okay, and now it is expired, and Donna's like, I think it's all right. Because she's always chuckling.
And Joe's saying, what's up, beautiful? You get prettier every time I see you. How does that even happen? Melissa's like, are you kidding? Because she's dating the entire world, okay? I mean, God, Mom, they're so young, too. And she's like, yeah, I got a couple that are 40.
Yeah. So then Melissa's like, so what are you doing for your birthday? You wanted to go out to dinner or something for your birthday? I guess she's saying that to her sister. And Donna goes, oh, yeah, she likes going out to dinner. I was like, oh, did Donna just shame Lisa?
And Melissa's like, yeah, Mom's dating a lot, Joe. Oh, speaking of dates, were you guys invited to Teresa's wedding? Oh, you didn't get an invite? And she's like, not this time. God bless her and Louie. God bless him.
I like Louie.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
She did the classy thing, which is say, no, not this time. And that was it. So then Gorga's like, when we got married, Joe Giudice's entire family was at the wedding because it was the right thing to do, okay? Listen. And then he sends his kids away. And he's like, listen.
He's like, we're going to have this conversation now. And she's like, not in front of the kids. All right, go off and don't put private parts on people. People outside of this family, she means, all right?
So then, so Joe Gorga's like, you know what? Her not inviting Melissa's family, that's like you mean nothing and the people in your life mean nothing also, okay? And you know what pisses me off? You sat with my parents for 18 years. My mother, my mother-in-law and my dad, they loved you guys. They loved you guys.
Yeah, you know what? That's what got me offended because my dad's last words were love each other. And the mom is like, well, maybe have Louie talk to her. And he's like, I did. I said, hey, you know what you got to do? You got to tell my sister to admit she's wrong. All right? And then we can get along. And she said she ain't going to do that. So there, I did my duty. Like, what the fuck? You and your sister are both morons. How is that conflict resolution? You both go to each other's partners and blame them that you two can't get along?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's like, he hasn't done anything to fix the situation. He's made it worse, which I think is true. So Melissa's like, yeah, and he said something about me too. Said I was insecure or something like that, which is also probably true. So Gorga's basically like, yeah, I don't even want to talk. I don't want to talk to him at guys' night. Okay, I don't want to even see him. Can we have a homoerotic moment? Sure, but I don't want to talk to him.
Would I suck his dick? Sure, but that's it. That's the only kind of mouth relations we're having. All right, and that's it. And one of the sisters is like,
I see all this gorgoness coming out in your face right now. I don't think this is gonna go very well.
So now it's time for guys' night, and Frank shows up at the bar first. He's like, hey, how are you? Can I get a apple martini? And so then Joe B shows up. He's like, Benino's here. His AARP card runs out at 7 o'clock. The law.
What took you so long? So now he's on the phone because Gorga's walking in, but they're talking on the phone while he walks in. And oh no, first Benino's like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. She made me change my shirt 3 times. So then Frank and Gorga are talking on the phone, and Frank's like, get up here. All right, they gave me one of those high tables, and I asked to move because I didn't think you could reach.
He's like, hey, you starting already? You starting already? Okay, all right. And he's like, hey, you're alive. You're alive. Hey, every time I turn around, you're in the hospital. What's going on with that, huh? Like, I know like the mob guys, they take out your kneecaps, but how'd they actually get into your insides? I don't understand that.
So all the guys arrive, basically, kind of filter in, and every time they're like, oh, whoa. And every single one that comes in, Frank's like, hey, you're a little late, but not much later than Joe Bonino. Look at him. He's so fucking old, okay? Guys, he's about to die. He's about to die. Really fucking old. Hey, hopefully we can get some egg rolls in here. Even they'll be smoother than Bonino. He's about to die. Look at him. He's so old.
I know. And I just love like you said, they all are like, hey, what's going on? How's it going? And then Bill sachets in. He's like, what's happening? You guys almost gave me the wrong address. Hey, brother man, how are you? My man.
Hi, bros. And so Fuda comes in. He's like, yeah, I got a present for you guys, all right? I got a gift for you guys, all right? Adult-sized diapers. Oh, whoa! Did you see that? Fucking diapers.
Well,
That's
diapers.
hilarious.
Yeah, even the law wouldn't wear those, huh? That's crazy, yeah. And then Nate Cabral walks in, so he gets the first actual proper, there he is. And then we get a nice variation on that, or as they say in Jersey, variation on it, where they say, look at this guy. Look at this guy. We've already established where he is, which is there. And now I want you all to look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
So then Joe Gorga does his compulsive shot thing where he's like, all right, we got to do shots. That's what we do here. We do shots. All right, honey, come over here. Every time we order a round, you bring us 2 shots each too. All right, honey, go on. Get that apple martini going. Shots. And his veins are starting to pop out already. Ugh.
Yeah. So then Frank finds out that Paulie is actually not coming because he has to work. And Frank's like, the other day I go over to Dolores' house and he says, oh, you should have reached out to talk. And I said, I had Dolores text you. And he says, don't send a woman to do a man's job. And he's like questioning my manhood. Okay. It's like, it's one thing to question my stick legs. Okay. It's another thing to question why my kneecaps always seem to be knocked out. But my manhood, you can't do that. You can't do that to her.
I mean, the whole family dynamic has changed. The Laura, she isn't even home anymore, all right? The stairs have railings. When she is home, she walks from the kitchen to the living room, back to the kitchen. She cut out the dining room, all right? There's no more triangular walks through the house. Who is she even? I miss Dolores.
Yeah, the other day I saw her walk from the kitchen to the living room, and she sat down. I was like, what's going on here? You just sat down? There's still so much more to walk.
And Joe's like, listen, I get it, all right? Because, this guy, like, he's handsome, he's smart, he's got a huge pair of balls, all right? Not like you, ball-free, all right? He's not ball-free like you. He's like a bull, this guy, all right? Now she's seen balls. That's it, right?
Go on. I'm trying to make a mental picture.
Frank, who has just gotten out of the hospital because he cannot pass any of the crap food that he eats through his body, is delivered chicken wings, quesadillas, and mozzarella sticks with like 5 green apple martinis. And I was like, that is my kind of person right there.
Yeah. So then, and then Bill goes, oh, you guys already order a... I'm like, what did you think was happening, Bill? So then John Fuda's like, so did Louis get pledged in yet? And Bill's like, oh, I love Louis. I mean, I'm the brother-in-law he doesn't have. The two of us can sit down together and share things, and he can vent to me, and if he's stressed, I can give him a massage, and if it gets too hot in the room, he just takes his shirt off, and I put some oil on his back, and things can get wild. It's just what 2 brother-in-laws do.
Hey, why don't you be a little nicer, Louis? Hey, Joe. And Joe's like, me? I'll tell you. You know what? When Louis came around, we took him in with open arms. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before. I just heard it. It's the best thing I ever heard. So me and Melissa are going to say it 30 times this episode. All right? Open arms. My wife, guess what she did? Opened her arms. All right? And guess what? She's missing secure, right? My wife, still arms open, treated him like royalty. Royalty you question because you heard about things on the internet, and you just want to protect the queen or whatever. But I just found out my sisters-in-law and my mother-in-law aren't invited. It's a slap in the face. And Fuda goes, disgusting.
Fuda, by the way, has shaved for this occasion. And he already looks a million times better. Not because he shaved, but because like the hair pattern is like more uniform. You don't have that weird half-shaved mustache up here. I'm just telling you. So now Louis arrives
in a t-shirt that has peace fingers waving. Okay.
And Bill's like, you guys have a lot of unresolved issues still. And Louis his eyes are bugging out. He's like, hey, I'm here, guys. Hey, how's it going, guys?
But he's not at the table yet, right? So Joe's like, yeah, here's what I'm going to tell him. You know what? Because of all of that, I just want this guy to know you're a piece of shit. You're garbage. And then Louis like, hey, guys. Hey guys,
hey,
how's it going?
Good to see you guys.
Teresa only surrounds herself with men who are constantly like not moving their eyes but looking around the room, because he does it too. But he does that thing like he's sniffing something out. He's like, hey guys, how's it going over here? What are those wings I smell? Well, heard those when I got dropped off at the Uber stand.
So they do some shots and everything, and Evan's like, hey, so Louis, the bachelor party, what are we doing? He's like, well, why don't we get all the guys together and we can go out, and then the girls can go out, and then we could meet up at the end. And all the guys like, come on.
Nah, you don't
this
do
guy
that.
wants
Come
to meet up with the girls. I want to meet up with the
Jesus.
girls, this one over here.
And Joe, slick Joe, no chill Joe, is like, oh yeah. Well, if you have a party, who you gonna invite? Who you gonna invite to the party then? And he's like, why are you asking? He's like, I'm asking because, you're having a wedding. You inviting a lot of people to that wedding? You inviting a lot of people to that wedding? He's like,
a few, 200, 200.
Oh, yeah, 200. Are they close people? Are they 200 close people? Huh? Are they?
What did that guy do with anything?
Are they close?
What
Are
did
they
that guy
close?
do with anything?
Huh? Yeah, what about Melissa's family? Are they close? Huh?
Yeah, I just like 200. Yeah, close people, close friends.
Yeah, because I just found out Melissa's family isn't invited. So everyone's invited except who's on my side. I like when he leans back and just like looks at the whole restaurant like,
He's just proving a point on Judge Judy. But all the guys are on Joe's side. Frank's like, is there a reason why his in-laws won't invite? I was a lawyer at one point. There, I rest my case.
And Louis like, it's a lot of past bullshit. That's what it is. It's a lot of past bullshit. And Joe's like, no matter what happened between Melissa and Teresa, the way my family treated your parents, you got to give them respect.
Yeah. And Benito's like, it's really a slap in the face not to invite them. It's like if you decide to buy a beautiful red polo shirt and then your wife says, no, Joe, are you crazy right now? You're wearing this thing. It's a slap in the face.
Yeah, and I'm Italian, so I know how it works. And I love, they're not so subtly using that against Louis this entire argument. Like, you're not Italian and you do not get to do this, sir. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm Italian. I say what goes with my sister, not you fucking other placer.
Outsider.
Yeah, you outsider. Yeah.
So Gorga's like, it's like a fuck you, like you mean nothing to me. And Louis is like, well, there's a lot of slaps in the faces that's going on. You're not the only one that's feeling like that. Your wife went publicly on social media and said her kids wouldn't eat food if it weren't for you.
Yeah. No one is saying they wouldn't eat, all right? What she meant was, and I think they did kind of say that, actually, but she's like, what she meant was, and what I meant was, I took care of my sister, and I held her every day. I was there every day. It's like hugging himself. And Louis like, I live with your nieces. I live with your nieces in the same house, so,
Yeah, but they're only talking about one thing, It's like, well, they talk about a lot of things, And he's like, yeah, well, you don't know shit, bro. You've been here for 1 minute. 1 minute, bro.
And he's like, I've been around 2 years. He goes, just be quiet. He goes, be quiet. You go down. And he goes, oh yeah. Blah, blah, blah. You should be embarrassed to bring that up. Be embarrassed. You just said it on the air of your podcast this week, Joe. Why would that be off of the table, sir?
Oh, and that's what Louis exactly says. He goes, I'm not embarrassed. You're on a podcast talking about your sister. And Gorga's like, don't do that. And he's like, I know, I'll sit here and I'll say whatever I want to say to you. I'll say whatever you want to say, what I want to say to you. And Gorga's like, oh, tough guy. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Fuck you. Don't talk to me like that.
You're not a man. You're a fucking pussy. You know why? You know why? And Louis like, are you saying that to my face? Are you saying it? And Bill goes, let's not insult the manhood. All right?
Because I can assure you, he has quite amount of manhood. And Louis like, hey, you know, I'm so above you, it's not funny. And I mean that quite literally. And Gorga's like, you know what? Let me tell you what a man is, okay? Oh, you can talk all you want because you're not going to affect me whatsoever. And then so that's when Joe, like, boom, punches the table.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break your fucking balls right fucking now. Cause I'm tired of this bullshit. My wife's not in the wedding. Fuck you. Her family's not in the wedding. Fuck you.
Joe. Oh, yes. Now you're going to go backpedal. Guys. Teresa's my fiance. Teresa, at 50 years of age, puts her foot down and says who she wants at the wedding. Okay? She doesn't want certain people at the wedding. Well, a man should tell my sister, you're out of line. That's what a man does.
It's like, I did that. And she put her foot down. That's what she did. She put her foot down. And Joe's like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt, bro. That's where it is. I'm hurt. It's like, you just called him, you know, you guys are the ones who are saying you never insult a man's manhood. That is right. The lowest of the low. Like, Joe is trying so hard to have a big screaming drama, and good for Louis for not giving it to him. With his Home Depot Buddha. Good for you, buddy.
They have a very fluid definition of what a man should be. Because then Fuda chimes in, he goes, here's the thing with Italians. Your older sister is supposed to guide you as your mother would. That sister-family dynamic is how it's supposed to roll. She failed.
Fuda, what the fuck, Fuda?
I know.
He's like, that's what Italians did, you know? And Joe's like, I'm hurt more than you can imagine. And I don't want to hurt no more. And Louis like, but Teresa doesn't want to hurt no more either. You guys should talk. And he's like, honestly, I don't feel comfortable. I'm afraid of getting hurt again. Sorry, bro. Sorry. And Louis goes, be vulnerable.
Like a real man. I'm a real man who's afraid of getting hurt again. A real man ain't scared of nothing except getting hurt again because he's vulnerable. So
funny. And so Louis is like, your sister should hear what you got to say. Because with your feelings, that's justified. And you should hear, then you should hear her. And then you guys should let it go. And Joe tells us, we talk, she's going to say, you didn't defend Louis. That's what she does. She does not move forward. I was like, well, considering it was like 3 days ago in your time that you just said you kept food on the table while Teresa was in jail and they owe you.
I think actually in this case, they're both right. Louis saying you're justified in how you feel, but you should listen to your sister is actually a sensible thing to say, although it's hard to take it seriously considering that a scene ago he was just like talking all the shit and adding fuel to the fire. And then Gorga saying like, listen, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down, and then she's gonna be like, you didn't defend Louis, which is also exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but then Joe's just gonna keep saying, you never respected my wife, you don't give us the respect we deserve. Yeah. So like they're just both broken records, you know.
All the whole laundry list of you didn't do this.
Yeah, so Louis begging him to go talk to Teresa, and he goes, please, Joe, please. And that's where we end for the week. The
dysfunction continues.
Yes, and that brings us to the end of Real Housewives of New Jersey.
It's the end of the innocence. So everyone, thanks for listening. Go vote in the crappies. Go buy tickets for the crappies, whether it's virtual or in person. I think you'll be delighted no matter what. And when you do buy those tickets, tell us how you feel, okay? Because I don't want to hurt no more. I don't want to hurt no more. Buy the ticket. I don't want to hurt no more.
I don't want to hurt no more. Louis is just sitting in front of his Buddha and his big round water fountain, listening to that in his AirPods while Teresa draws pastas in her journal.
Yeah, it's beautiful, really. To that end, thanks everyone also for watching, and we're going to catch you on the next episode, which will be Vanderpump Rules. So until then, have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Dana C. Dana Do. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch. Kristen the Piston Anderson. Can't stop fanning over Tina Manning.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya.
Christy Wowardy Dowardy.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Undo your fasteners. It's Aaron Kastner.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill. Make it lastner with Aaron Kastner.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.